Do you ever get that feeling like you're just caught in this loop, always running, always trying to catch up?
Yeah, like your days are just slipping away.
Exactly. And then you see that person, right? The one who's, I don't know, calmly sipping an oat milk latte on a crazy Monday morning, looking totally in control.
Uh-huh. It's that universal thing, isn't it? That feeling of never having enough time, the constant rush.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today.
We've gathered quite a bit of material for this deep dive, including Gemma Bray's really insightful book, The Organized Time Technique. You might see it called TOTT.
Right, TOTT. And our mission for you listening is to pull out the absolute key insights from these sources.
Yeah, the goal is to help you genuinely get a grip on your time, find a bit more balance, and this is crucial.
Go on.
Carve out that space for what actually matters to you. And importantly, do it guilt-free.
Guilt-free. I like the sound of that. Okay, so Gemma Bray. Let's talk about her. She wasn't like born organized, was she?
Not at all. Her journey started with something called the Organized Mum Method, TOM-M. And she actually used that phrase because, in her words, she was faking it to make it.
Really? Faking it?
Yeah. She had some really tough times, postnatal anxiety, which led to obsessive cleaning for her. And then later, navigating a difficult divorce as a single mom. She was just completely overwhelmed.
Wow. So she had to figure it out herself.
Pretty much. She literally had to teach herself how to be organized, starting small, like with these 30-minute chunks of time, just to kind of claw her life back together.
That's quite a story. It wasn't just a neat idea she had. It came from real struggle.
Exactly. And what's so powerful is that her personal struggle led to something that seems to resonate universally. It makes you realize organization isn't some magic talent.
It's something you learn.
It's a learned skill, a discipline, often something you figure out because you have to. And that, I think, gives anyone hope they can master their time wherever they're starting from.
That feeling of overwhelm, though, things just not quite holding together. It's so common. And Gemma Bray links this to what she calls the modern time trap.
Ah, yes, the having it all mirage.
Exactly. This constant pressure, the dream job, perfect house, perfect partner, kids who are angels, gym body, organic meals cooked from scratch every night.
It sounds exhausting just listing it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's this, enticing picture. But the source is really clear, striving for that kind of perfection. It just leads to burnout, plain and simple.
And the book really emphasizes this. We cannot be everything to everyone. It's just not possible.
Which brings us to another really important point, the unequal domestic burden.
Yeah. This often falls heavily on women, doesn't it? So many find themselves becoming the domestic director.
Domestic director, I like that term. Responsible for groceries, cooking, cleaning, laundry.
Dog walking, remembering birthdays, booking appointments. The list goes on. And it often just creeps up, especially maybe after maternity leave. It just sort of gets lumped in.
And nobody really notices except the person doing it all.
Precisely. There's this amazing story in the book, an anecdote from a listener named Maggie.
Oh, yeah.
She felt so unseen, so underappreciated, that one day she decided to make the invisible visible. Every single domestic task she did, she wrote it on a Post-it note and stuck it on the thing.
No way. What happened?
By the end of the day, her house was apparently covered in Post-its. I dusted this on the TV, I cooked this on the slow cooker, I filled this on the fridge.
Wow. That's powerful, a visual representation of all that hidden work.
Exactly. And when you connect that to the bigger picture, this imbalance, it breeds resentment, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You feel underappreciated, maybe even like you're not good enough if you ask for help because, society whispers you should be able to handle it all.
It's a really tough dynamic, and it needs tackling for your own sanity and for the health of the relationship.
Okay, so that whole picture, the modern time trap, the domestic burden, it can feel pretty bleak. If someone listening feels totally stuck in that, what's the very first thing Gemma recommends? Is it a specific system or is it more fundamental?
That's a key question. Because TOTT, the Organized Time Technique, it's more than just a system. It's really about a shift in attitude.
An attitude shift. How so?
Well, the core idea, and this is a quote, is a shift in attitude not only gives you the time to do what you have to do, but also gives you the time to do what you want to do.
Okay, the want to do part.
Yeah.
That often feels like the luxury, the thing that gets squeezed out.
Right. And if it feels indulgent, that's exactly why you need to fight for it. It's recognizing that personal time, that want-to-do time, isn't selfish. It's necessary.
So how do you actually make that shift happen? What's the practical first step in TOTT?
It starts with something called the time boot camp. And Gemma is really clear. This is non-negotiable. You have to do this first.
Okay, time boot camp. What'd that involve?
For one whole week, you meticulously track everything you spend time on. And I mean everything, not just work meetings or chores.
So, like, the commute, scrolling through Instagram.
Exactly. Travel time, social media time, making coffee, folding laundry, staring into space,
Yeah.
everything. She uses this great analogy.
Oh.
Think of your day like a bucket full of time. The boot camp helps you find the holes in the bucket, the time wasters, the things that cause leaks.
Ah, the leaky bucket. I get it. So you can see where your time is actually going.
Precisely. It gives you this brutally honest picture. You see your strengths, your weaknesses. You figure out if you're struggling because you're genuinely trying to cram too much in, or if maybe, just maybe, you're mismanaging the time you do have, or perhaps lack motivation.
It forces you to confront reality.
Yeah.
I can see why you can't skip it.
Absolutely vital. And once you've done that boot camp, the book helps you figure out what kind of timekeeper you are. There are 3 main types.
Okay, let's hear them.
First up is the overachiever.
Uh-oh. Sounds familiar.
Huh. Yeah, this is the ultimate multitasker. Finds it really hard to say no. Often secretly quite proud of being busy.
But probably exhausted.
Totally burned out. Loves a good list, though. The example given is Carrie, a single mom running her own business. Her Monday morning is intense.
Tell me about it.
Up at 5 a.m. for emails, tries to do yoga, kids wake up early, she's trying to do laundry, check business social media, help a friend find a law school jumper via text, make pancakes, and do PTA admin.
Wow. All before.
All before 10 a.m., by which point she feels like she's already failed, an hour behind, totally stressed. Her brain is just a constant whir of to-do lists.
That sounds incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
Just constant juggling. What's driving that, usually?
Often it's this deep-seated belief, maybe subconscious, that your worth is tied to your productivity. Or maybe a fear of missing out, FOMO. We'll touch on that again later.
Okay, so that's the overachiever. What's next?
Next is the dreamer.
The dreamer. Intriguing.
This one's a bit paradoxical. Dreamers love planning. They love strategizing, buying nice stationery, dreaming up big projects.
But there's a but, isn't there?
But they really struggle with the execution. They get bogged down in the planning phase, start lots of things, but rarely finish. They can get disheartened quite easily when things don't go perfectly to plan.
Ah, I know that feeling. Like Rachel, the example in the book, right? Spends ages planning a business launch, designing logos, mapping out marketing.
Exactly, but then gets stuck actually making the thing or putting it out there. All the energy goes into the dream, not the doing. Leaves them feeling frustrated.
Right. Okay. Overachiever, dreamer. What's the third type?
The third is the spendthrift.
Okay. Like a time spendthrift.
Precisely. This is maybe the easiest one to spot. They genuinely have almost no idea where their time goes, often late for things.
Friends with the snooze button.
Best friends. They consistently underestimate how long tasks will take. They might lack patience for structured plans.
That sounds like Gil from the book.
Yeah.
Alarm at 6:30, actually gets up at 6:55.
Yep, rushes the shower, rushes the kids, can't find clean school shirts, gets distracted by an online sale,
Oh, dear.
ends up late for work, hasn't had breakfast, stomach rumbling in a meeting, exhausted before the day's even really begun.
It seems like all 3 types, despite being different, end up feeling overwhelmed or like they're not quite managing.
That's the common thread, yes. So once you identify your type, which the bootcamp really helps with, KOTT introduces its basic structure.
Okay, how does it work?
It divides the whole day, 24 hours, into 30-minute chunks or units.
30-minute units. So that's 48 units in a day.
Exactly, 48 units. Then you categorize your tasks into 3 levels. Level 1 is your absolute non-negotiables.
Like sleeping, eating.
Sleeping, eating, personal hygiene, caring for kids or dependents. The stuff that, if it doesn't happen, things basically fall apart. Or as the book puts it, the stuff will hit the fan.
Got it. Level 1. Essentials. What's level 2?
Level 2 is for tasks that are important, but they could wait or be postponed if absolutely necessary. Things like your job, school runs, paying bills, doing housework. Important, but flexible-ish.
Okay. And level 3.
Level 3. This is the goal. This is time for pleasure, self-care, hobbies, learning something new, personal development.
The wanna-do stuff.
Exactly. The stuff you actively schedule in, guilt-free, rather than just hoping a spare moment magically appears.
I like that framework. Units and levels. Simple but clear. So once you understand your time and have this structure, KOTT helps you tackle the things that derail you, right? The time suckers.
Spot on. Those unhelpful thoughts and behaviors that just eat up your precious units. And the #1 culprit for many.
Let me guess. The smartphone.
You got it.
Yeah.
The smartphone and social media, it's such a double-edged sword, isn't it? A blessing and a curse.
Oh, tell me about it. You
Yeah.
pick it up to check one thing, and suddenly 20 minutes have vanished down a rabbit hole of cat videos or something.
Uh-huh, exactly. You check the time, end up watching a tutorial on something random, and forget why you even picked it up. It's a huge time suck. How does TOTT suggest we manage that?
It's all about being intentional and setting boundaries. Practical stuff, mostly.
Like what? Well, downloading a screen time tracker app is a good start. Just seeing the data can be shocking. Muting notifications after work hours is key. Scheduling work emails so they only send during business hours, even if you wrote them late at night.
Oh, that's smart. Creates a boundary.
Definitely. And only checking your phone at specific designated times rather than every buzz. Even organizing your phone's home screen into folders like work, life admin, lifestyle can help. It adds a little friction, makes you pause before diving in.
Makes sense. Creates a little mental speed bump. Okay, phones are one big time sucker. What else?
Procrastination is another major one. You know, putting off those tasks you don't want to do.
The boring ones. Or the awkward ones.
Both. Those monotonous jobs or the difficult conversations. The advice is often eat the frog, do the hardest task first thing.
Right. But why does that work so well? What's the psychology?
It's about mental energy. We spend so much bandwidth just thinking about the unpleasant tasks, dreading them.
Ah, the background anxiety.
Exactly. By tackling it first, when your willpower is generally highest, you get it off your mental plate. It frees up so much headspace for the rest of the day. You're not constantly reminded of that thing looming over you.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Freeing up headspace.
Mm.
What about self-sabotage? Overthinking.
Yeah. Often fueled by social media, that comparison culture. Worrying about what everyone else is doing, achieving, looking like.
Like wanting the fitness influencer's abs or feeling inadequate because someone else's house looks perfect. It wastes time, obviously, but how does it hit self-esteem?
It just traps you, doesn't it? Comparing your messy reality to someone else's curated highlight reel, it's a recipe for feeling rubbish about yourself.
So what's the antidote?
The advice is simple but powerful. Stay in your lane. Focus on your path, your progress. The book uses this great analogy of the school playground.
Go on.
You've got Monica, super organized, runs the PTA brilliantly. Then there's Phoebe, the calm yoga teacher, and Janice, the social butterfly who bakes amazing cakes. Each has their strength, right? Comparing yourself, wishing you were all of them, is just pointless. It wastes time and makes you unhappy because you're not honoring your own unique strengths.
So keep your blinkers on, focus on your own race.
Pretty much. Don't waste energy looking sideways, and link that to the final big time waster, the illusion of endless time.
What do you mean?
That feeling or refusal to accept that there are only 24 hours in a day. We get bombarded with should-dos from everywhere, magazines, social media, family.
And then we try to cram it all in.
Especially the overachievers. It leads to this constant state of overwhelm, feeling like you're always falling short because you simply can't do everything.
It feels like a trap designed to make us feel inadequate.
It really can be. The key is accepting your time is finite and then being ruthlessly realistic about what fits.
Okay, so we've identified the traps, the time suckers. How do we actively start getting that time back? What's the first big strategy in TOTT?
It's called the time call.
Sounds brutal.
It kind of is. This is where you go through your tasks and identify things you can just stop doing. Or delegate. Or do much more efficiently.
How do you decide what gets culled?
You ask yourself one crucial question for each task. What would actually happen if I didn't do it?
Ooh, the killer question. Simple but effective.
Totally. Gemma applied it herself. She realized stopping volunteering at school, while causing maybe a twinge of mum guilt initially, wouldn't actually have major negative consequences.
So it's about challenging assumptions.
Exactly. Other examples. Could you batch cook more? Pay for school lunches instead of packing them every day? Do online grocery shopping for your elderly mom instead of going with her? Carpool for kids' activities.
It's about being really honest about the impact versus the time cost. Defending your time.
Which leads perfectly into the next big skill, the art of saying no.
Ah, the magic word. But so hard for many people.
It really is. But the book puts it bluntly, no is a complete sentence. It's about empowering yourself to protect your time and energy.
But you don't want to sound rude or unhelpful. How do you do it gracefully?
TOTT gives you some stock phrases, polite but firm. Things like, thank you so much for asking, but I just don't have the capacity to commit to anything else right now.
Okay, that's good.
Or the classic, let me check my diary and get back to you. That buys you time to think, and then you can come back with a considered no if needed.
Gives you breathing space.
Mm-hmm.
What about saying no at work? That could feel really tricky.
Yeah, the book addresses that too. If your workload is genuinely unmanageable, like you're consistently doing 5 days work and 40 jobs, it suggests framing it not as refusal, but as capacity.
How?
By showing your manager your schedule, maybe using the TOTT units, and explaining that you physically can't take on more without sacrificing quality or working unsustainable hours, it subtly shifts the focus from you being unwilling to the workload being the issue.
Right. It's about the volume of work, not your skill or willingness. Smart.
Exactly. Now, moving on to potentially the trickiest area, sharing the domestic load.
Oh boy. This is where arguments can happen, right? And that feeling of martyrdom creeps in.
Definitely. The book calls it a tricky topic. The advice isn't about going on a mum strike, though that's discussed as something people in the community talk about.
Yeah, a strike sounds dramatic, but probably hard to sustain.
Right. You end up watching your hard work unravel. The better approach suggested is to sit down calmly with your partner, and this is where your time bootcamp beta is gold.
Ah, using the evidence.
Exactly. Show them, in black and white, how the time is actually being spent. It takes the emotion out a bit, makes it about facts. The core message here is powerful. There is no martyr badge waiting for you at the end for sacrificing all your time and energy.
You're just burning yourself out for no reward.
Pretty much. You're doing yourself, and probably the relationship, a massive disservice by trying to carry it all.
So beyond the big things like saying no and sharing the load, it's also about working smarter day to day.
Yes, lots of practical efficiency tips to lighten the load and free up that precious headspace. Gemma calls it working smarter, not harder.
Like what kind of things?
Doubling up tasks is a big one, like cleaning the bathroom while the kids are in the bath anyway, or phoning your mom while you're out walking the dog.
Making use of dead time?
Right. Even doing pelvic floor exercises at traffic lights. Hey, every little helps.
Uh-huh. No judgment here. What else?
Not sweating the small stuff. Like, teach your kids to make their beds, but accept it won't be hotel perfect. An in-between way, she calls it. Good enough is okay. Delegate and let go of perfection.
That's a big one for recovering perfectionists.
Huge! Also, grabbing those small wins. Emptying the dishwasher during the ad break of a TV show, wiping down kitchen counters while the kettle boils. Tiny pockets of time add up.
Okay, making chores less daunting.
And batch cooking. Doubling recipes when you cook, freezing half for another day. Lifesaver.
Definitely. Saves thinking and cooking time later.
And the Team Tom M community, that's Gemma's broader cleaning method community, they share tons of tips too. Things like hanging socks up in pairs on the washing line so you don't have to match them later, making sandwiches the night before, scanning important documents so you can find them easily, having separate drawers or bags packed for kids' school uniforms or after-school activities.
Little systems that just smooth things out.
Yeah, even using an old toothbrush head to clean around taps. It's all these small, clever shifts that collectively make a big difference.
Okay, so you've got the strategies, the smart tips, but then there are the internal roadblocks, right? The mental barriers.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest is what the book calls the guilt gremlins.
Ah, the guilt.
Yeah.
Especially mom guilt, right? Feeling selfish for taking time for yourself.
Exactly. That feeling like you should always be doing something productive or for someone else. Fear of being judged as lazy if you, I don't know, read a book or have a bath.
It's so pervasive.
Gemma shares a really personal story about this. When she first joined a gym that had a spa attached, she felt so incredibly guilty about it.
Really? About using a spa?
Yeah. She actually hid it from people initially, worried they'd think she was some kind of lazy lady of leisure, just lounging around while others were working hard.
Wow. That shows how deep that guilt can run.
But then she had this realization, unless people like her started talking openly about taking time for themselves, celebrating it even, the culture wouldn't change. So she shared it online.
And what happened?
The response was overwhelmingly positive. So many people messaged her saying they felt the same way, that they needed permission to prioritize themselves too. It showed it's a universal need, not a selfish indulgence.
That's a great story. We need to normalize self-care. What about other roadblocks? Sleep deprivation must be a huge one for parents.
Oh, massive. And acknowledged as incredibly tough. Gemma herself says her third child didn't sleep through the night until he was 4. She shares a story about being so tired she accidentally put coffee granules in his baby bottle instead of formula.
Oh my goodness. That's extreme exhaustion.
Totally. So the advice here is about survival, really. Getting out of the house every day, even just for fresh air and maybe seeing another adult. Prioritizing nutrition as much as possible, knowing your limits.
And sometimes using that precious level 3 time for sleep.
Exactly. Sometimes the most radical act of self-care when you're that sleep-deprived is just choosing sleep over that longed for hour of me time, reading or watching TV. It's about playing the long game.
Yeah, the book says parenting is a marathon, not a sprint. That's right.
Precisely. And there certainly isn't a medal for the most tired person at the end of it. Your worth isn't measured by how much you cram in or how little sleep you get.
That's such an important message. Okay, one last internal hurdle. The never-ending to-do list. That feeling that it just goes on forever.
Which can feel really depressing, can it? Like you'll never get on top of things.
Yeah. But the book reframes this.
It does. It suggests seeing the never-ending list not as depressing, but as freeing.
Freeing.
Because it releases you from the tyranny of needing to finish everything before you allow yourself to rest or relax. The reality is, as soon as you tick one thing off, another thing appears. Life just keeps generating tasks.
So accepting it's never done means you don't have to wait for done to take a break.
Exactly. It helps you let go of that need for completion, that perfectionism. You can choose what's important now, do that, and then rest, guilt-free, knowing the list will still be there tomorrow. And that's okay.
That's a huge mindset shift. Okay, so you've done the boot camp, identified your type, culled your tasks, tackled the guilt. How do you stay on track long term? Life happens, right?
Absolutely. TOTT isn't meant to be rigid. Life does throw curveballs. The key is flexibility and planning for contingencies.
Contingency time, like buffer zones.
Exactly. Build in extra time for potential traffic jams, or if a child gets sick, have time buffers so that one unexpected delay doesn't completely derail your entire day or week. Regular planning, like a quick review each week, is essential.
And the book recommends repeating the time boot camp.
Yes, at least twice a year, Gemma suggests. Just to check in, make sure old habits haven't crept back, and ensure you're still prioritizing your own time and well-being as circumstances change.
Makes sense. It's like a regular tune-up for your time management. And TOTT isn't just for home life, right? It works in the workplace, too.
Definitely. The principles translate really well. The example used is Sarah, an office administrator.
How does she use it?
She assigns her 30-minute TOTT units to work tasks, 2 units for checking emails, 3 units for updating the website, 1 unit for booking viewings, and so on. She even schedules in contingency units for unexpected tasks that pop up.
So it brings the same structure and intentionality to her professional day.
Exactly. Plus tips like actually taking your lunch break, planning demanding tasks for your peak energy times. It's about applying the same mindful approach to your 9 to 5.
That's really practical. Now,
Right.
what about for the dreamers? Those who struggle with getting started on big projects because they feel overwhelmed.
Ah, yes, the dreamers. TOTT has a fantastic analogy for them called the kitchen towel analogy.
Kitchen towel. Okay, explain.
Imagine a whole roll of kitchen towel. It looks big, maybe daunting, like a huge project, writing a book, starting a business.
Okay.
Now, think about tearing off just one single sheet. That one sheet represents a tiny bit of effort. Maybe just 15 minutes working on the project, writing 1 paragraph, sending 1 email.
Just one small piece.
Right. It seems insignificant on its own. But sheet by sheet, all those little bits add up, and eventually they make the whole roll.
Ah. So every tiny step, every small unit of time spent contributes to the bigger goal, even if it doesn't feel like much at the time.
Precisely. It's a powerful visual to remind dreamers and anyone feeling overwhelmed that consistency, even in small doses, achieves big things. All those little bits add up. Every step is worthwhile.
That's a brilliant way to look at it. Breaks down the overwhelm.
It really does.
So this deep dive, it really feels like it's offered a clear path, a way to stop getting bogged down in, the domestic drudgery and that endless feeling of being busy but not productive.
Yeah, freeing up that precious headspace so you can actually focus on the things you want to do. Planning adventures, pursuing passions, starting those projects you've dreamed about.
Okay, so to leave our listeners with something to think about, here's the challenge.
What hidden pockets of time might you uncover if you really truly committed to understanding and valuing your own time budget? If you did that time boot camp and were brutally honest.
And maybe ask yourself this. What passion or project have you constantly put off, always telling yourself you just don't have the time? Could TOTT, could thinking in these guilt-free 30-minute units finally make that a reality?